Applause for Isabella. You did that. That was amazing. So next we're gonna bring up Joelle Gooden. Give a round of applause for Joelle.
Hello, hello. I'll be reciting Street Speech by Walter Rodney. Thank you. You see, we have had too much of this foolishness of race. I'm not going to attempt to allocate the blame one way or another. I think more than one political party has been responsible for the crisis of race relations in this country. I think our leadership has failed us on that score. I think external intervention was important in bringing the races against each other from the 50s and particularly the early 60s. But I am not concerned with the present. But I'm concerned with the present. Time and time again, it has been our undoing. Does it have anything to do with our race that the cost of living far outstrips the increase in wages? Does it have anything to do with our race that there are no goods in the shops? Does it have anything to do with our race when the original lack of democracy exemplifies the national elections is reproduced at the level of local government elections? Does it have anything to do with race when day after day, whether one is Indian or African, without the appropriate party credentials, one either gets no employment, loses one employment, or is subject to lack of promotion? It is clear that we must get beyond the red herring and recognize that it is intended to divide, that it is not intended in the interest of the common African and Indian people in this country. There were no losers. The losers were those who participated, who shared blows and got blows, and they are the losers today. It is time that we understand that those in power are still attempting to maintain us in that mentality, maintain us captive, and in that mentality we are afraid to act, or we act indigenously because we believe that our racial interests are at stake. Surely we have to transcend those racial problems. Surely we have to find ways and means of ensuring that transcend racial problems. There is racial justice in this society, but certainly it will not be done by a handful of so-called black men monopolizing the power, squeezing the life out of all sections of the working class, and turning around and expecting that they will manipulate an issue. Because, as I said before, you will start with one thing and end with another. The system does not stop at racial discrimination because it is a system of class oppression. It only camouflages its class nature under racial cover, and in the end, it will move against anyone irrespective of color. In the end, they will move even against their own, because don't believe if you are a member of that party today that you'll be protected tomorrow from the injustices. Because when a monster grows, it grows out of control. It eats up even those who created the monster, and it's time that our people understand that. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause for Joelle. Okay, so next up is Alajani Emmanuel. So she's a little shy, so let's give her a really good round of applause. You got this. I don't have anything prepped, but I was just gonna speak from my heart. So basically, what happened was, thank you. I'm part of the YMCA Farm Project, and we have been really into fighting injustices in the food industry and social justice all around. And so, I'm shaking. In July of 2020, we were like, oh my God, you know what we should do? We should make a holiday. And this was like, can we even do that? And we're like, yeah, we can do that. So then we did that. And so last October, we sent in a proclamation. We talked to all of our local Congress people, and they were like, yeah, we like this. We were like, okay, cool. So then we made the Sojourner Truth Day, which was November 26, 2020. And then, so once that happened, that was only for that year. So then we had to go last week and revise it and all that stuff. And so what we did was we talked to our congressman again. We're like, hey, can this be forever? And they were like, yeah. So last week we got Sojourner Truth Day to be a local holiday in all of Ulster County every year on November 26th. Yeah. Yeah, and with all of your help, we would love to make it a state holiday. And maybe even, not just state holiday. But yeah, it's on November 26th. We were also, like, there's a little booth over there. I've been standing at it. Like, no one came to, like, talk to me. But, like, if you want to, there's, like, a little board that's like, what do you know about her? What don't you know about her? Like, you would want to know about her. So then I can go and, like, boopity boop boop, do some research, and then basically just get all this information so we can make, like, traditions that can be celebrated on this day. And, like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all. Right, she made a holiday! Give another round of applause! Great job. Next we have Dakota Rose. Dakota Rose. Woo! Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Oh, wow, that echoes. Okay. If those of you who do not know me, a lot of my scholarship that I've been doing on this campus has been a lot of forging my own path in disability studies. We don't really have a disability studies program, though I do find disability to be one of those identities that shows up in all communities. Disability, what I say is disability doesn't discriminate. Disability can affect everyone regardless of age, gender, race, sexuality, status, everything like that. So I think it was important for me. I found 3 really quick poems from Deaf Republic. It's a book that shares a narrative throughout all of their poems, and it starts, you'll see, with the first poem called Gunshot. Our country is the stage. When soldiers march into town, public assemblies are officially prohibited. But today, neighbors flock to the piano music from Sonia and Alfonso's puppet show in Central Square. Some of us have climbed up into trees, others hide behind benches and telegraph poles. When Petya, the deaf boy in the front row, sneezes, the sergeant puppet collapses, shrieking. He stands up again, snorts, shakes his fist at the laughing audience. An army jeep swerves into the square, disgorging its own sergeant. Disperse immediately. Disperse immediately, the puppet mimics in a wooden falsetto. Everyone freezes except Petya, who keeps giggling. Someone claps a hand over his mouth. The sergeant turns toward the boy, raising his finger. You, the puppet raises a finger. Sonia watches her puppet. The puppet watches the sergeant watches Sonia and Alfonso, but the rest of us watch Petya lean back, gather all the spit in his throat, and launch it at the sergeant. The sound we do not hear lifts the gulls off the water. This next one is called As Soldiers March. Alfonso covers the boy's face with a newspaper. 14 people, most of us strangers, watch Sonia kneel by Petya, shot in the middle of the street. She picks up his spectacles, shining like 2 coins, balances them on his nose. Observe this moment, how it convulses. Snow falls and the dogs run into the streets like medics. 14 of us watch. Sonia kisses his forehead, her shout a hole torn in the sky. It shimmers the park benches, porch lights. We see in Sonia's open mouth the nakedness of a nation. She stretches out beside the little snowman napping in the middle of the street. As picking up its belly, the country runs. And then last, this one is called A Map of Bone and Open Valves. This is from Alfonso's point of view, the father, Petya. I watch the sergeant aim, the deaf boy take iron and fire in his mouth, his face on the asphalt, the map of bone and opened valves. It's the air. Something in the air wants us too much. The earth is still. The tower guards eat cucumber sandwiches. The first day, soldiers examine the ears of bartenders, accountants, soldiers. The wicked things silence does to soldiers. They tear Gora's wife from her bed like a door off a bus. Observe this moment, how it convulses. The body of the boy lies on the asphalt like a paperclip. The body of the boy lies on the asphalt like the body of a boy. I touch the walls, feel the pulse of the house, and I stare up wordless and do not know why I am alive. We tiptoe this city, Sonia and I, between theaters and gardens, wrought iron gates. Be courageous, we say, but no one is courageous. As a sound we do not hear lifts the birds off the water. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause. Thank you so much. So now we're gonna call Amy Mercedes to the stage. Let's give a round of applause for Amy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be saying an excerpt from Women of Color. Beautiful, beautiful, women of color. Exotic, intriguing, and strong. Butter pecan brown, mocha, and chocolate. As dark as the night and as bright as the dawn. That's it. Thank you.
Do I have to check in with him? Yes. Where's he?
Thank you so much. So next we're gonna call Caitlin Gianta. Caitlin, are you here? No. Okay, so now we're gonna do open up for open mic. So if anybody wants to just come up and sound your truth, remember your voice matters. So if anyone wants to come up and just express anything, anyone?
I'll come up.
Thank you. Let's shout out to Jaden.
Thanks, Bree.
Thanks, Jaden.
Sorry. Wow. First, I would like to say thank you all for being here. Coming to New Paltz has made me a better person, and I gotta say it's the people that keep me here. So I appreciate all of you. Without the people, there is no community, and that's been so significant to me. And I know that's really important to all of you as well. And I just want to say, be you, don't be inauthentic, and be genuine, and follow your heart, because your heart is going to lead you to success, not anyone else. Because it's been a big part of my life, just following myself and doing what's best for me, because you come first. Without you, what are you going to do? So that's all I got to say. Word is bond.
Thank you so much, Jaden. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. Let's give another round of applause to Jaden. So next coming up to the stage is Dr. Gwendolyn Lloyd.
Hello, hi. I'm Gwyneth Lloyd, and I'm the director of the Psychological Counseling Center. And what I wanted to share is that as we talk about our total wellness and speaking the truth, sometimes speaking the truth can be very painful. Sometimes our past impacts and influences who we are and our ability to speak the truth. And I just want to tell you that one place that you could always speak the truth and you'll never be judged is in therapy, is in counseling. Because sometimes our not being able to speak our truth holds us back from achieving the dreams that we have to achieve and we want to achieve. So I want to say from the Counseling Center that Black Lives Matters and all the issues we have been battling over the past year, we heard you, we hear you, and we have heard you so loud and so clearly and so well that we responded. And I just want to say in about 2 weeks we have another person of color joining the staff at the Counseling Center, and we have another person from the LGBT community who is a Latino male. So I want to get the word out there. We hear you. When we hear you, we do it. And that's what speaking the truth is all about. So we want to just continue to invite you that part of the process is, listen, how much is therapy out there in the private world? If you're a college student and you are here, take advantage of all the resources there are to take. And one thing you should take advantage of is therapy, because therapy out there is expensive. Okay? Whether you got insurance or not, it's expensive. So here you are in college, struggling with issues, and you're gonna walk out of here and don't take that baggage with you? No. Try to leave that baggage right here. Work it out. Okay, come and work it out in therapy, because we have great service. We have psychiatrists, we have clinical social workers, mental health counselors, and guess what? Two things: it's free at no cost, and confidential. So that's really important. So I just want to invite you as part of your struggle and being as an emerging adult as you are becoming. Those resources are there to support you and to assure that you make it through your college persistence. So that's what I wanted to say to you. We are here to support you. We hear you. We have also done another thing that you talked about in Black Lives Matter when you talk about speaking the truth. And it is always good to speak the truth because people do listen. Is that some of you were concerned about, making a call to us after hours and having to go through UPD and those kind of concerns you had. We heard you again. And what did we do with that? We now have a 24-hour answering service that we've always been on call 24/7. But now we have hired an answering service so that when you call, you're not calling University Police. You can call the regular College Counseling Center number 24/7. It will be answered by an answering service and they will contact us immediately. Our response time tends to be between 10 and 15 minutes most. So we hear you, we keep hearing you, keep speaking the truth because people are listening to you. Thank you. So what's the number? The number is 845-257-2920. Eve mo Amazon, Eve Vini, quitte la vie, belle. I said I love you, live life and live it to the best.
Thank you, Dr. Lloyd. We appreciate you. Let's give another round of applause. So next, we're going to call up Khadijah Barry. Please come to the stage. Round of applause.
Can you help me bring this down? No problem. I know I'm about to.
We make microphones back there.
All right.
Microphones.
How y'all doing? Doing good? All right. I'm gonna read a poem and interpret it into my real life that I live every day. Tupac wrote a poem that talks about his life in New York because he was born in Harlem, New York, like me. And it says, "Did you hear about the rose that grew from the crack of the concrete, proving nature's law wrong, but learned how to walk on his own feet? Funny how it seems it kept going by his dreams." Living in New York is not easy. I know people see the pictures and they see that, oh, it's the big light city. Because my parents immigrated from here and then they came here by themselves. But living in New York is not like the dream that it looks like. People die every day on a daily basis. And it's like the black people don't make the news as often. Like if a black person is missing, not a lot of people is gonna really care. It's not in the news. I seen a newsletter and it said about 400 people went missing and it wasn't on the news, it never made it to the news. And that's quite embarrassing because if a white person goes missing, a lot of people, the whole world has to stop. They might even close schools. And it's like, when you're born in a big family, you want to stay out of trouble, but it's in the fear that you just walk in black, you'll just get killed, and that's scary. And people try to make their life out of what they have. So I know we judge people oh, they sell drugs, this is a crackhead, this is that. But at the end of the day, they're just trying to make the means they was dealt with. Nobody wants to sell drugs and ruin their community, but sometimes that's what they have to do in the life that they live in. And have to provide for their family because people see their mothers struggling, damn near dying, and then they have to help out any way that they can. And the only way they know is by selling what they have. So that's the interpretation with living in New York. And it's not easy. I feel like we have to make a big change in general, whether it's by music, whether it's by education. We barely learn about slavery in school anyway. We learn about the conquerors instead of the people that actually got conquered. And we learn the bright side instead of the bad side. Because not that long ago, I learned about Indigenous Day, and I didn't even know it was called that. I thought it was Columbus Day. But there was so many people killed, Native Americans that was here. But we only hear about the conquerors. Like last time in my class, we asked about the lion and the hunter. We only hear the story about the hunter because the hunter won. We never heard the lion side.
Teach.
That's it.
This is short. Okay. Thank you so much, Khadijah. We appreciate